Call our salary board meeting to order, so would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, and welcome to our salary board meeting of October 11th. I almost said September 11th. First item is to approve the minutes from the September 13th, 2022 meeting. Unless there's changes or corrections, I will entertain a motion to approve the same.
So moved.
I'll second that. Motion properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
First item on the agenda is to request from the commissioners that the wage of the part-time fiscal director position be set at $23 an hour. Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion, and I should point out that when we adjusted all the other salaries, we just didn't do this. So this is sort of a catch-up for him.
Yep. Makes sense to me. All right, I will be happy to second it. Motion having been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Secondly, we have a request from the commissioners to set the salary of the new VA director at $37,000 a year, effective September 19th, 2022. And, of course, everyone's aware we've hired a new VA director. So I will entertain a motion to effect the same. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there anything else for the good of the order? If there isn't, I'll entertain a motion. We adjourn the salary board meeting.
So moved.
Thank you. Second? Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. All righty. Rolling right into our Board of Commissioners meeting. We'll dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance as we do. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of our previous meetings, September 27th, 28th, 2022.
I'll so move.
Thank you. I will second it. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, and before we go to the next item, I want to welcome Kate, who's filling in for Lisa today. Kate, thank you. I'm sure you're going to do a great job, so we appreciate you taking the time to be here today. All righty. Rob, the bills.
The general fund, $1,476,230.91. Hazardous materials, $1,021.89. 911 fund, $6,854.20. Records improvements, $692.99. CDBG, $99,333.75. Domestic relations, $9,746.02. Children and youth, $31,498.52. And we had a miscellaneous check for the postal service, $58.32. Grand total, $1,625,436.60.
Thank you, Rob. Unless there are any changes or corrections, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the bills as presented.
So moved.
Thank you. I'll second that. Motion being properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We do have some personnel. Oops. Sorry. Need to sign that before we do anything else.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Rob. All righty, we do have some personnel changes for our consideration. Under new hires, we have Department Clerk 3 in the Elections Office, effective October 3rd, 2022. 2 corrections officers at the Clearfield County Jail, both effective October 3rd, 2022. Part-time custodian under the direction of the Commissioners, effective October 10th, 2022. And a caseworker supervisor of Children Youth Services, effective October 17th, 2022. Transfers, we have an administrative assistant in the tax assessment office, 3 in the tax assessment office, effective October 3rd, 2022. And a department clerk 3 in tax assessment and administrative assistant in tax assessment, effective October 3rd, 2022. We have three items under separation retirement, one corrections officer at the county jail, effective September 28, 2022, custodian, effective October 5th, 2022, actually two custodians, pardon me, under the direction of the commissioners, one effective October 5th, 2022, one effective October 14th, 2022. I have nothing under miscellaneous or request for leave act. I will entertain a motion that we approve the same, assuming there are no questions or other considerations.
So moved.
Thank you. I will second it. Motion properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment? It does not look like it. So, all righty. I have nothing under old business. Under new business, we are to consider Resolution 2022, number 9, adopting Act 57. Do we have a copy?
I do have a copy.
Copy of it, okay. And Heather, do you want to give a synopsis of what the purpose is of being presented with the resolution?
In July, Governor Wolf signed an amendment to the local tax collection law. Normally, there is a section that states failure to receive your tax notice does not alleviate anyone from having to pay their taxes. He did add in a small exception that has to do with property transfers. There's a very small window when the tax bills are already processed in a prior address, and if a change of ownership happens during those times, they may not be received. So this is a small exception, but as part of that change, he's requiring each taxing district to enact a resolution that states the tax collector has the authority to waive certain charges. Again, those charges, though, they have to provide specific documentation in order to get that waiver, and it's not a waiver of taxes, it's just an additional fee if they are paying late on there. So that resolution is being done in accordance with Act 57.
Go ahead, Dave.
Can we put it on the website rather than read this whole thing into the
what
record?
I was going to suggest, I'll just read a little, at the beginning of the resolution, there's just a very, about 5-line abbreviated explanation. I was just going to read that, and I agree with your suggestion. Okay, this is just a resolution of the Clearfield County Board of Commissioners implementing Pennsylvania Act 57 of 2022, requiring the tax collector to waive additional charges for real estate taxes assessed in the first tax year following the enactment of the act, where notice the real estate taxes was not received following a transfer of real property, and the taxpayer satisfies all conditions set forth in the act. And I do agree. This is too lengthy to read the rest of it. So, and both Mr. Glass and I had a chance to review this prior to today's meeting. So I will entertain a motion that we pass resolution number 2022, number 9.
So moved.
Thank you. I will second that. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll make sure we sign that here. Item number 2,
We do with those at the end.
consider a statewide interconnectivity funding program grant.
Yes, I believe between Mr. Ruffner and Mr. McClure, they've spoken on this in the past. Every year, we receive the interconnectivity funding grant. That's with PEMA, the state, and then Clearfield County. And basically, it sets forth the amount that we will be receiving. This year's allotment is $74,098, and that's for the January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023 year. And that's just to continue with projects for the 911 system.
Okay, thank you, Heather. I will entertain a motion that we approve continued funding of the statewide interconnectivity funding program grant.
We're accepting the funding, right?
Accepting the funding, is that right? Pardon me.
Yes.
I apologize. I'll modify my motion.
I'll so move.
Thank you, and I will second that. All righty, motion having been properly moved and seconded that we accept the statewide interconnecting funding program grant. Having been properly moved and seconded, all those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, very good. Next item we have for consideration is a contract with Moorfield Communications. Specifically, this is a contract to provide a panic button alarm system for the courthouse administrative offices building and annex. This would certainly enhance security throughout our offices and office buildings. And it's everything from, I guess, pop-ups on the computer to on the computer screens warning there's a problem, to alarm systems, alarm bells.
Text alerts to certain
Text
people.
alerts, correct. I totally forgot about that. This was proposed to us by Court Administrator Chip Bell. He has also indicated that the funding for the same is provided by the AOPC.
That is correct. This is one of those situations where we advance the funds, and then they are able to apply for AOPC for reimbursement of those.
And I understand we would be reimbursing for the end of the fund
Yeah.
drive, so it's pretty fast.
Yeah, Chip said it's already been approved for reimbursement once we do it, so I don't anticipate any problems there.
No, and certainly this would provide a significant step up in level of security for our buildings and for our personnel. So I'll entertain a motion that we approve the contract with Moorfield Communications to provide the enhanced electronic security.
You
And
reviewed it?
I have reviewed it, so it is okay. And then as part of that motion, if we could just authorize the court administrator to submit for that reimbursement through AOPC and complete the necessary paperwork.
Yeah, direct the court administrator to apply for additional funding reimbursement through the AOPC and fill out or complete the paperwork associated with the same. Thank you.
I'll make the motion to approve the contract and to authorize Chip Bell to apply for the reimbursement.
Thank you, Dave. I will second that. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next item is to consider a lease agreement with the Du Bois Redevelopment Authority and Nancy Yeager for District Judge Mahalick's office. And this is a relatively short-term lease, correct?
Yes, we are at the end of October coming up on our prior lease agreement, which will terminate. There's been a change in ownership of that building. As such, we've been able to renegotiate at least a short-term lease to give all the parties involved some time and make sure, obviously, there's a home for the district magistrate office. So this is a one-year lease for $2,700 per month, and it is with, as you stated, the City of Du Bois Redevelopment Authority, as well as Ms. Yeager. On there. So I've had an opportunity to review that lease agreement, and it is approved as to its form today. It's very similar to our prior agreements as far as responsibilities, maintenance costs, and things like that.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion that we approve the lease agreement with the Du Bois Redevelopment Authority and Nancy Yeager for District Judge Mahalick's office.
So moved.
Thank you. I will second that. Motion having been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Okay, next item, we have a purchase of service agreement with Dave Kessling. Dave Glass, did you want to explain what this is about?
Yeah, basically, the warden, Dave Kessling, retired, but he's still offering his services on a consultant basis, especially with things like the budget and other things that the new warden isn't as familiar with. So what we came up with was $25 an hour with a max of 240 hours. That's the cap, and then it terminates at the end of the year. So if there's any reason that his service would be needed in the new year, we'd have to reconsider. So that gives enough flexibility for him to be there when needed without it getting too far down the line or too many hours. And everybody seemed comfortable with that.
Heather, you reviewed this?
Yes, I actually,
you prepared
the
it.
terms of it, yep, I proposed it. So he is, as Commissioner Glass stated, he would be working almost as an independent contractor. And we've done this on some other occasions when it's necessary. And then the agreement does reflect, as Commissioner Glass stated, the term terminating at the end of the year, as well as the cap on the hours and compensation on there. So it's ready for you.
I forgot, you'd mentioned that there's like a 10-day out for either party,
Yes.
just as a safeguard. Nobody's intending to use that,
Correct.
but,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, thank you. We appreciate the fact that you did prepare that, Heather, and we appreciate the fact that former Warden Kessling is willing to give us an assist as we transition to new administration. One of the deputy wardens has been around a while, but mostly new administration at the Clearfield County Jail. So, thank you. Okay, well, I will entertain a motion that we approve the purchase of service agreement with former Warden Kessling as explained.
So moved.
Thank you. I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Next item, we have consider appointment of Commissioner Glass to the Clearfield County Conservation District. As Commissioner Scotto is no longer with us, who was the commissioner representative on the Conservation District Board, governing board, there was an opening. Commissioner Glass has expressed an interest in serving on the board, I think due to his family's background in agriculture and related subjects, so I guess perhaps I don't know, Dave, if you want to make a stump speech, but I think I probably...
It's something I've always been interested in, and you guys, Tony was already on it, so I wasn't going to rock any
Sure.
boats when I joined, but now I find that interesting, so I would like to
Sure.
contribute there.
Well, under the circumstances, then I think I will make the motion then that Commissioner Glass be appointed to the Clearfield County Conservation District to finish out whatever's left on Commissioner Scotto's term, and Dave, as long as you don't feel funny about it. Second.
Well,
Is it
I
okay
was
if
going
you
to say,
second?
normally I would abstain, but I don't feel like I have to take action.
You can, and there's not necessarily a conflict. You're not receiving any.
Sounds good.
So I will second that motion.
Okay, very good. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Last item I have on the agenda under new business is we have some purchase of services agreements with...
There's one more after
Oh, there
that,
is
but
one more. Okay, very good.
It's just an announcement.
Yep, thank you. I appreciate that. And I was using one I downloaded from the other day, so I
okay.
apologize. That's my fault. We have some purchase of service agreements to consider with Pathways, Valier and Associates, Pence Run, George Junior County Youth Services. Heather.
Yeah, so these are our standard purchase of service agreements, if I may. The Pathways, Valair and Associates, Pence Run, and George Junior. We have contracted with all of those entities before. Those are just, as we stated, our updated agreements for this fiscal year. There were no major changes to those. The Center County Youth Services, this is a new agreement. If you recall, we had executed a letter of intent with them. We needed a placement facility for a juvenile. So we did get our formal purchase of service agreement, and one of those included the rate schedule that just breaks down the per diem day for where they're at, which is in line with, I believe, what everybody was expecting. So I just wanted to make note that will be our first year that we have the agreement with them, but it is our standard agreement. So all of those have been reviewed and approved as to their form.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to apologize. I read that as George Junior Center County Youth Services. It's George Junior and then Center County Youth Services. Okay, thank you. I will entertain a motion that we approve the purchase of service agreements as described.
So moved.
Thank you. I will second the same. Motion having probably moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Okay, there's one additional item 8. Okay, we're going to announce that the Commissioner and Salary Board meeting of November 8th, which is Election Day, will actually be held on November 1st, 2022, guys. So gear your enthusiasm up a little bit earlier and come on in on November 1st. So thank you, Dave. I appreciate you bringing it to my attention. Solicitor's report.
Just briefly, we do have a pending election lawsuit, as I spoke about last time, that deals with curing of ballots. That is now pending before the Supreme Court, so we still have no resolution as to that. There are some filings that are due over the next couple days. There have been some special reliefs just filed as of this morning, so if anything transpires further on that, but it is at this point still pending.
Anything else?
I do not have anything further.
Anything for the good of the order? There being none, I'll entertain a motion. We adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Thank you. I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.